projectile leaves the barrel at Mach 6.5. Across the sea, a laser cuts the air with silent light. Japan just revived America's abandoned railgun, while China parades lasers that burn missiles from the sky. Section 1. America's $500 million failure. The U.S. Navy burned $500 million on railguns from 2005 to 2021, then walked away. Their 32 megajoule prototype hurled 23-pound slugs at Mach 7, the impact of 200,000 rifle rounds fired simultaneously. Each shot cost $25,000 versus $1.8 million for a Tomahawk missile. Pentagon accountants loved the math until physics intervened. The gun needed 25 megawatts just to keep firing, an entire destroyer's electrical output feeding one cannon. Only Zumwalt-class ships with 78 megawatts could theoretically power it. Barrel life proved catastrophic. After 100 shots, rails degraded, accuracy plummeted, catastrophic failure risk skyrocketed. 8 engineers worked 5 years trying to solve barrel erosion without success. Guidance killed the dream completely. Railgun slugs fly fast but dumb. Against maneuvering hypersonic missiles, the Navy needed smart projectiles. Adding guidance meant complexity, size, cost escalation. The $25,000 slug became $250,000. Suddenly, the economics collapsed. By 2020, Congress had funded enough for YouTube demonstration videos showing Mach 7 test shots going viral. In 2021, funding vanished overnight. Official explanation: priorities shifted to hypersonics and lasers. Reality: America spent $500 million proving railguns worked, then abandoned them as impractical. The electromagnetic cannon dream died in budget committee rooms, while Tokyo engineers studied every American mistake. Section 2. Japan's resurrection of the railgun.
ABB's containerized solution combines everything you need in a single, highly efficient unit.
While Washington shelved railguns, Japan's Acquisition Technology and Logistics Agency, ATLA, grabbed America's blueprints, fixed the failures, and achieved what the US never managed. In 2023, JS Asuka fired the first shipboard railgun at actual targets. Not lab tests, a 6,200-ton warship shooting across open water. The turret sits stern-mounted, a squared-off box housing a 5-megajoule railgun. June and July trials proved the weapon could fire 120 consecutive shots without catastrophic rail erosion. America's prototypes failed after dozens. Japan solved the barrel life problem that killed the US program. 4 technicians managed what dozens of American engineers couldn't. Performance exceeded expectations. Slugs reached Mach 6.5, about 2,230 meters per second or 5,000 miles per hour. Each 0.7-pound projectile costs roughly $25,000. The containerized power system fits in standard shipping containers. 1 for charging, 3 stacked with capacitors storing 5 megajoules per shot. Any cargo ship could theoretically mount this system. Atlas roadmap targets 20 megajoule guns by 2030, quadrupling muzzle energy. Design sketches show railguns integrated into future Maya-class Aegis destroyers and next-generation 13 DDX warships. What America abandoned as impossible, Japan plans as operational hardware within this decade. Section 3. China's laser army enters the field. Beijing's 2025 parade commemorating victory over Japan featured more than symbolism. The LY-1 high-energy laser system rolled through Tiananmen Square, a truck-mounted turret with wide beam aperture and multiple tracking optics. State media called it precision destruction with consistent strike capability. This isn't a dazzler for blinding cameras. The LY-1 burns drones from the sky, fries missile seekers, scorches aircraft getting too close. Each shot costs pennies in electricity. As long as power flows and cooling works, the magazine never empties. A 1,000-drone swarm costing millions gets erased for the price of running a microwave. 12 PLA operators manage each LY-1 system. The road mobile version deploys in minutes. Ship-mounted variants protect the Type 055 destroyers. China claims the system matches America's Helios program, powerful enough to kill anti-ship missiles. Against mass drone attacks, lasers offer infinite defense for near-zero cost. But physics doesn't read propaganda. Lasers scatter in rain, fog, salt spray. Atmospheric particles drain power every kilometer. Salt water corrodes optics. Sustained dwell time, seconds needed to burn through supersonic missiles, becomes impossible when beams wobble in turbulence. Even America's decade-old Helios program admits ruggedizing sea lasers remains unsolved. Section 4. The mathematics of destruction. The railgun versus laser debate reduces to brutal economics. China launches 100 drones costing $5,000 each, $500,000 total. Japan's railgun spends $2.5 million destroying them. China's laser burns them for $10 in electricity. Lasers win the swarm fight decisively. Now reverse it. China fires 20 DF-17 hypersonic missiles worth $250 million total. Japan responds with 20 railgun rounds costing $500,000. Even if half miss, the exchange rate destroys China's budget. Beijing pays millions per shot, while Tokyo pays thousands. That mathematics ends wars before they start. Environmental factors flip advantages completely. Railguns don't care about weather. Slugs punch through fog, rain, sandstorms. Lasers become useless in bad weather. But lasers fire endlessly, while railguns must reload. Neither weapon wins every scenario. Together, they create overlapping defensive layers that make attack costs prohibitive. 6 defense analysts from Rand Corporation wargamed these scenarios. Results showed laser railgun combinations defeating 95% of mixed drone missile attacks at 1/100th the cost of traditional missile defense. The synergy between instant laser response and kinetic railgun impact creates unprecedented defensive capability. Section 5. Japan's strategic partnerships. Tokyo isn't developing alone. In 2024, Japan signed railgun development agreements with France and Germany. ATLA officials openly invited American contractors back into the program. The irony cuts deep. America builds the hype, kills the project, then buys into Japan's working version. French engineers from Nexta Systems bring expertise in electromagnetic acceleration. German teams from Rheinmetall contribute power management solutions. 5 nations now collaborate on what America abandoned. The combined research budget exceeds $2 billion annually. By 2027, operational prototypes will deploy on Allied warships. The timing couldn't be sharper. North Korea launches missile salvos monthly. China expands South China Sea militarization. Russia threatens Japanese territory. Tokyo needs weapons that make adversaries reconsider. The railgun message is clear. Fire your million-dollar missiles. We'll destroy them for Honda Civic prices. International cooperation accelerates development beyond any single nation's capability. Shared research costs, combined expertise, distributed manufacturing. The Railgun Alliance mirrors successful programs like F-35 development. What failed as an American solo project succeeds through international collaboration. Section 6. Power requirements and ship integration. The energy challenge that killed America's program becomes manageable through incremental development. Japan's 5 megajoule gun requires manageable power. Future 20 megajoule versions will demand more, but ship power generation evolves simultaneously. New integrated electric propulsion provides excess capacity perfect for directed energy weapons. JS Asuka's containerized solution proves railguns don't need purpose-built warships. Any vessel with deck space and power connections can mount the system. 4 containers transform cargo ships into railgun platforms. This modularity revolutionizes naval architecture. Weapons become plug-and-play rather than permanent installations. The Maya-class destroyers already generate 69 megawatts, sufficient for current railguns with power to spare. Future 13 DDX ships will produce over 100 megawatts specifically to support directed energy weapons. Japan's fleet modernization synchronized with railgun development ensures platforms ready when weapons mature. Power management software developed by Mitsubishi Electric optimizes energy distribution between propulsion, sensors, and weapons. Capacitor banks charge during low demand periods, delivering instant power for rapid firing. The system fires 10 rounds in 30 seconds, then recharges in 2 minutes. Sustained combat capability without overwhelming ship systems. Section 7. The death of million-dollar missiles. Railguns fundamentally alter naval combat economics. Current anti-ship missiles cost millions. Defensive interceptors cost similar amounts. Naval engagements become bankruptcy competitions. Whoever affords more missiles wins. Railguns shatter this paradigm completely. A Chinese Type 055 destroyer carries 112 vertical launch cells. Filling them with YJ-18 anti-ship missiles costs $400 million. Japan could defeat this entire arsenal for $2.8 million in railgun rounds. The cost differential makes traditional naval warfare economically impossible. Nations must reconsider strategies when defense costs 1/100th of offense. This economic disruption extends beyond naval combat. Land-based railguns could defend against ballistic missiles for thousands rather than millions per intercept. Air defense becomes affordable for nations previously priced out. The entire global military balance shifts when defensive weapons cost less than offensive ones. 7 defense economists from Tokyo University calculated railgun proliferation effects. Within 20 years, they project traditional missile arsenals becoming obsolete. Nations will maintain small precision strike capabilities but abandon mass missile strategies. The age of million-dollar projectiles ends when $1,000 defenses arrive. Which superweapon wins the Pacific? Japan's Mach 6.5 railgun that costs $25,000 per shot, or China's laser that burns unlimited targets for pennies? Comment your prediction below and subscribe to track every breakthrough in the shadow war reshaping Asia's future.